Hello everyone, a very warm welcome again to the virtual session of Science Children. So you all have all enjoyed your Diwali break, so time to get back to work, children. As you all know, we had a Zoom session yesterday and we are going to continue with the chapter Transportation in Animals and Plants. I hope you all are maintaining your notebook. So keep writing the notes as given in the virtual session to you all and keep your notebook updated. So let us see what are we going to have. We will see different organisms excrete different waste. So as you have learned in the previous sessions how excretion is one of the important characteristics of living organism, and different organisms excrete different waste because the food they consume is different. So let us see. The majority excretory products in human is urea. The urine consists of toxic waste 2.5%, urea 2.5%, and water 95%. The way in which waste chemicals are removed from the body of the animal depends on the availability of water. Fishes and aquatic animals excrete ammonia in the water. Birds, snakes, and lizards excrete semi-solid white colored uric acid. So these are the different excretory products, different waste given out by the different living organism. You have seen in this all these excretory waste of different organism in the previous session. Now you are going to take down all these points in your notebook. I hope you are writing there, children. So let us see, since we are doing excretion and we are learning about the excretory products, the excretory waste, let us see what the important term, that is dialysis, means. Sometimes people use artificial kidneys, that is they get the blood purified artificially periodically. It is called dialysis. So in some people, you must have heard about the kidney failure when both the kidneys stop working. Every human being have two kidneys, a pair of kidney. So that kidney help in getting rid of toxic waste from the body. It helps in purifying the blood. So if in case the kidney fails, then the toxic waste will remain in the body. It will make blood toxic and that will be very harmful. That can lead to death. So in such cases, a scientific process, a method is done. That scientific method is called as dialysis. So that is an artificial kidney, and you have to regularly go to the hospital and you have to get dialysis done, so to purify the blood artificially. Periodically you have to do this, otherwise the blood will become impure in the body and the life will be at stake. They have to do so in case of kidney failures, in which the kidneys of a person are unable to perform their functions due to an infection or an injury. So in such cases where kidney fails to perform, artificial kidneys that is done in the hospital, periodically it will help in purifying blood. That process is called as dialysis, and those method actually employed over there called as artificial kidney. So please take down these points. How is sweat useful to us? So let us see. Sweat is also one of the excretory product from especially from human beings, where we sweat. Even animals will sweat. So let us see. Sweat contains water and some salts, and hence help in getting rid of toxic waste from the body. So it is one of the toxic waste which comes out from the body in the form of sweat. This is how we give out the toxic waste in the form of urine, in the form of solid waste, in the form of sweat. Also, as the sweat evaporates from our skin, it takes up our body heat, and this makes us feel cool, especially during the summer days. So during summer days, when it is very hot and humid, we sweat a lot and you feel very hot, and after some time the sweat evaporates. It helps in cooling the body. So evaporation of the sweat causes cooling, and sweat is very good for keeping our body cool. It will help to regulate the body temperature. I hope this is very clear. So sweat is one of the excretory product given out by us that will help us to get rid of the toxic waste from the body. Transportation in plants. Now we are going to see transportation in plants. We have learned about the transportation system in animals. We have seen in human, we have seen how blood vessels, arteries, veins, heart help in the blood circulation, and how oxygen, water and nutrients supply to different parts of the human body. That all we have seen. Now time to see transportation in plants. As we have transportation system, the blood capillaries, the blood vessels, the arteries and the veins. Similarly, plants also have some system for transportation of water, for transportation of nutrients and minerals required by different parts of the plants. Let us see transportation of water and minerals in plants. Take down all the points discussed over here. The roots of the plants absorb the essential minerals and water from the soil. The roots have hair-like structures present on them. These hairs increase the surface area of the roots and hence allow more amount of absorption. So the roots actually of the plants absorb the essential minerals and water from the soil, as you have learned. And the root hairs, those are the fine hairs, those hair-like structure present on them. These help for the transportation system. They increase the surface area so that more absorption of water and minerals can happen, because there are fine hairs in abundance. They are large in numbers, and hence will allow more amount of absorption which is required by the plants. Then absorption by roots, you can see over here a potted plant which has a root inside the soil. Magnified over there, you can see in here the image shown where you have a soil and the roots go deep inside the soil. The soil has water, air, isn't it? Air is also there inside the soil because soil is porous in nature. Soil has some fine pores, so those pores will trap air, will trap water, and the soil particles, you can see over here, the roots go deep inside the soil particles, and from there it will help to absorb water and minerals from the soil. Just have a look at this. Then from the roots, the water and the minerals are transported to other parts of the plant through special kind of tissues called vascular tissues. So from roots, it has to go to all the various parts of the plant. That role is performed by the vascular tissue, that is special kind of tissues. And there are two vascular tissues present in the plants. Please write down all these points, children. So there are two types of vascular tissues which help in the transportation: xylem and phloem. It is a vascular tissue. The xylem is a vascular tissue that is responsible for transporting nutrients and water in the plant. So this is the tissue which is only responsible for nutrients and water. The root cells absorb water and minerals and transport it to the xylem. Xylem carries it to the other parts unidirectionally without usage of energy. So without any use of energy, it will get a upthrust force and it get transported, and it is unidirectional. That means it is one way. When it goes to upward movement, it will go to all the various parts of the plant and it will not come back. So it is unidirectional. It will have one way to go and it will not have a backflow. Then phloem, it is again a different type of vascular tissue that transport the food produced by the leaves. That is a source. That leaf is a source for the food for the plants, and it transport to all the parts of the plant. This flow is bidirectional and utilizes energy. So it can have a backflow, it can go ahead and it can go backward, and that's why it is called as bidirectional. This is known as translocation. That means the movement of the food from one place to another, that is called as translocation, which is done by the vascular tissue called as phloem. I hope you are writing all this. So here we can have a look the structure of the stem and the root, where the roots you can see has xylem and phloem. These are the vascular tissues which help. Xylem will help in the transportation of nutrients and water. Phloem will help in the transportation of food, that is glucose. Similarly, stem, you can see a part of the section of the stem you cut, and you may see under magnification, again it will have phloem and xylem, vascular bundle, vascular tissues, which are responsible for transportation of various substances. So just have a look at this. The xylem and phloem are the very important vascular tissues which perform the function of transportation of nutrients, water and food. Transpiration, as you all know what is transpiration, this is one of the way by which plants get rid of excess unwanted water with the help of leaves, and they give out excess water in the form of water vapor. So let us see, we are going to write down all these points. Since we are learning about plants, we learn about the transportation system in plants. Now we will see how they excrete unwanted waste. So plants will excrete water in the form of water vapor through transpiration. You all have already done this concept, but you have to do again since we are learning about the excretory system, or we are learning about the excess waste which is present in plants, how they are being excreted. So sometimes not all the water that plants absorb is used by them. Hence they need to get rid of the excess water. This loss of water in plants takes place through the process of transpiration, in which the water evaporates in the atmosphere through the stomata. That is a very important part of the leaves. Those are the small openings present underneath the leaves, and what they do, they open and close and will allow exchange of gases. It will allow water vapor to evaporate. So stomata plays a very important role which is present on the leaves. Stomatas are tiny pores present on the leaves that allow the movement of gases and water through them. You have learned all these concepts. Just recap for this concept for the plants which we are learning. We are learning about the plant's transportation system, so we have to learn about transpiration again. So transpiration results in absorption of water. As the water from the leaf evaporates, it generates a suction pull in the plants that bring the water from the root upwards. So transpiration is not only helping in evaporating water in the form of water vapor, it also helps in creating a pull, a force, a suction force by which the water from the roots will be pulled upward. So that the difference in the water level actually in the plants will create a suction pull, and that will bring water upward from the roots. Transpiration helps in cooling down the plants. So transpiration plays a very important role. How sweat helps us to regulate our body temperature. Similarly, transpiration keeps them cool. As the water evaporates, it utilizes the heat of the plant and results in cooling of the internal temperature of the plant. It's just similar to sweating. The only difference is that in plants it is called as transpiration. I hope you are making all the points in your notebook. So here you can see transpiration, where water evaporates from the leaf surface under the scorching heat. Water travels through plants from the roots. Water being absorbed by the roots, it get a suction pull because all water evaporated. So the water from the roots will get a force from the roots and it will travel upward again. Just have a look at the transpiration process. So this is how water being given out through leaves with the help of stomata. You will have learned about transpiration. That concept was reinforced because of the requirement for the concept we are learning, transportation system in plants. So here we had come to an end of the session, children. I hope you will have taken down all the important points discussed. And just a gentle reminder to you all, keep your notebook updated. Thank you, children, and have a great day.